Hello, welcome to the Agriculture Aspirants. I am Saurabh Pratap. So this is second lecture of our UPSC ecology series. Now today we will discuss about natural resources, their sustainable management and conservation. This session is presented by me. I am Saurabh Pratap. So let's start today's course. First of all, we will discuss the nature of PYQs which were asked in previous years. In 2021, this question was asked the major ways for sustainable management of natural resources. It was asked in 10 marks, which should be written in 150 words. The second question is short note on conservation of natural resources. Okay, this is 20 mark question. So you have to write in 200 to 250 words. Then next question is short critical note natural resource management पे. We have to write about natural resource management. Okay, this is a critical note. This was also asked in 20 marks. We have to write in 200 words. So based on these PYQs, we can understand what are the questions which were asked. The basic about what are natural resources, its management, conservation of natural resources, sustainable management of natural resources. These are the nature of questions. So we have to prepare according to these themes and prepare the content according to questions, because this unit, these four to five topics of first unit of ecology is very dynamic in nature. Just only we have to understand, and before reading this, just read environment section. If you don't read environment section, you can feel any problem while covering these topics, because this is a very interlinked topic with environment and ecology. Okay, so today's topics are natural resources, because before understanding natural resources, we have to understand about natural resources, types of natural resources, and finally our topic natural resource management, or we can say sustainable management of natural resources. It is clear to you? So let's move forward. First of all, we need to understand what are natural resources. Okay, natural resources are the resources that are drawn from nature and used with few modifications, like directly water. We consume water, but now we have polluted due to developmental activities and rapid urbanization. We have to filter it with RO, which is known as RO water or filtered water. Then we consume it. For generation of hydroelectricity, we use dam. We construct a dam to convert the potential energy into kinetic energy. Okay, so natural resources are derived from nature and used with some modifications. Like we can take example of any iron ore. If we found any iron ore or any uranium ore, we directly don't use that. First we filter them and then use. They play a vital role in supporting human civilization and economic activities. Natural resources have the potential to maintain or grow the economic activities, to maintain the economic activities, because without resources you can't grow much. Okay, or you have to create resources, or you can import them from another countries. Just like take example of Japan. Japan has very less resources. It has only less than 10% of agriculture land, but it import most of the resources from other countries and utilize them. Okay, then it produce the crops. Okay, so before we have understand about natural resources and what are the natural resources. There are two types of natural resources: renewable and non-renewable. Okay, I hope you know about natural resources and its type, but I am discussing it. Renewable resources means that forest, winds, waters, these are indispensable. You can utilize it much more way. But non-renewable resources are those resources, if once exhausted, you can't replenish them. You can't generate them quickly. Okay, just like fossil fuels and minerals. So let's move to another topic: sustainable management of natural resources. Okay, sustainable management of natural resources. So first of all, we need to understand what is sustainable management. I hope you know about it, but I will discuss here what is sustainable management. Management which meets the demand of present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. What it means? We utilize the resources in such a way that we satisfy our needs for present and don't make a gap or don't over exploit them, so that our future generations can't utilize them. Okay, so this is sustainable management of resources so that meet the demand of present without compromising the demand of future generations. Okay, so just in case of natural resources, what is natural resource management? It is very important topic. Okay, what is natural resource management? Because it is the only part of our discussion which is very important, but rest all are also important, but this is a core topic because directly question will be asked: what are the natural resources, what are natural resource management? Okay, natural resource management refers to the sustainable utilization. What it means? Sustainable utilization, conservation and restoration of natural resources to ensure their availability for present and future generations. What it means? Utilization, conservation and restoration of natural resources so that we can ensure the availability for present, just like sustainable management, and also for future generations. Okay, this is a very simple topic, but you have to understand in a very simpler way. I am trying to explain it in a very simple way. Just focus on this part. If you have any doubt, then you can comment. Okay, so this is a natural resource management. The primary goal of natural resource management is to balance the human needs and economic development with need to preserve and protect ecosystem and biodiversity. Because if we lose biodiversity, then it will affect in a very long term. I hope you understand this part. If you affect the biodiversity in the developmental process, then it will affect you or affect human civilization in long term in a bad way. Okay, so focus on this. As you know, we also know that development, economic development and natural and ecosystem maintenance or biodiversity conservation are a opponent of each other. If you take consideration of environmental aspect, then there will be no or very less economic development. If you focus on economic development, then economic factors will be affected. It's clear and everyone knows that. So what is needed in a present term, in a present time? Sustainable management. Okay, sustainable management of natural resources. Focus on this part, that sustainable management of natural resources. Then you will write this topic, this definition. If it asks what is natural resource management, then also you have to write this definition. Okay, this is just only to make you aware about what is sustainable management. You can use it interchangeably. If you are feeling that I am using English language too much, you can comment. I will try to shift and incorporate Hindi language also, because many of the students are from South India and also from Central India. They are demanding that, sir, please upload the lectures in English language. So I am trying to making these lectures in English language. So if you have any problem or face any problem in understanding the way I am teaching, then just comment it. I will try to improve, because ultimately I am teaching only for your better understanding. Okay, so let's move next part. It is a basic template I have written for you. Okay, sustainable management of natural resources. If you got any question from this topic, just copy paste it, or you can modify and use it. So what is sustainable management of natural resources? It is a crucial for ensuring their long-term availability. For what? For what long-term availability? Natural resources. Ensuring the long-term availability of natural resources and minimizing the negative environmental impact. What? Minimizing the negative environmental impacts. It involves the practices of what it involves practices and strategies that promotes responsible resource utilization, conservation, equitable distribution. It is just like this. And somehow I made this template to write, because unit first is a very dynamic in nature, and students face problem in this topic. When question comes, you face a problem, you face difficulties while solving or writing a good quality answers. So I have written this template. So focus on this, just memorize it. What it involves? It involves practice strategies that promotes responsible resource utilization, extraction, conservation, and equitable distribution. Okay, this is sustainable management of natural resources. So what are the key principles of natural resource management? We need to also know about that. What is it? What are the key principles? It can be asked in a various way. They can ask in a, what are the ways for natural resource management? What are the ways? So answer will be same. First principle is sustainability. Natural resource management emphasizes the long-term viability of resources, because sustainability is the ultimate factor in natural resource management. If you have natural resources, you have to manage in such a way that you get them for present, and you also conserve for future. Okay, so future generations can also get benefited from it. Otherwise, future generation, what will they use? How they will survive? This is a very big question. Okay, so focus on future. This is the sustainability concept. We will discuss later about it in a detailed way. Then second principle is ecosystem approach. Always focus while managing the natural resources. Focus on ecosystem approach, because understanding the ecosystem approach is a very essential, because natural resource management, if you manage these resources without considering the ecosystem, it may impact the entire ecosystem. Entire ecosystem may collapse. Just for example, if you take this wetland, this is a wetland. Okay, this is a wetland. In coastal areas, people convert it to agriculture land. Okay, convert it to agriculture land. So what is the result? This wetland converted into this. Ultimately, this wetland got lost, and its functioning is also got disturbed and totally depleted. I hope you know about the functions of wetland. What are its role? They are also called as kidney of earth. Okay, Amazon forest or any other forest is known as a lungs of earth. So wetlands are known as a kidney of earth. So just move Next principle is conservation. NRM involves what is natural resource management involves protection and preservation of natural resources. In how? Protection of habitat, species and ecosystem. How you will conserve? How we will conserve? By establishing national parks, by establishing wildlife sanctuaries, by establishing protected areas. So by these way we can conserve the natural resources for long term, and government in such a way conserve the natural resources like forest natural resources by declaring them under a national park as a national park and protected areas, protected forest, such like that. Then next factor is rules and regulations. Government and organization often establish relations and policies to manage natural resources sustainably. What it means? Policies and regulations are very essential part of natural resource management. Just take example of Wildlife Protection Act. What is it? 1972. Wildlife Protection Act. Indian Forest Act. 1927. By these regulations, through this Wildlife Protection Act, government is protecting wildlife resources. Okay, wildlife in any form, not only animals, it also includes some endangered species of plants and herbs. Through Indian Forest Act, government, what is the objective of government? To protect and preserve the forest resources. What? Forest. Because forest cover is essential to maintain the ecosystem sustainably. And National Forest Policy 1988 also entails that there should be 33% of forest out of total geographical area. So we have to maintain at a minimum 33% of forest of our country. While Bhutan is the only country which is a carbon negative country. What? Bhutan is the only country which is carbon negative country. Okay, so this is the importance, or this is the principle of resources and principle natural resource management. Collaboration. What is it means? Collaboration. Natural resource management often involves collaboration of various stakeholders, including government agencies, local communities, indigenous groups, NGOs, and industries to manage the natural resources. How? Just take example of like if any program, just like Chipko Andolan, you know about Chipko Andolan. Just for example, Chipko Andolan was a very important part of our history. Remember it and understand it as example. I am not telling you about this. Just understand and read about it. Okay. This is not relevant example for this topic, but you have to understand collaboration is a very important. You can take example of United Nations Environmental Program, WWF. Okay, WWF, World Wildlife Fund. They are NGOs. Okay, they are collaborating with government for protection of wildlife or any other resources. Okay, so make it clear. So these are the key principles of natural resource management. Some other principles: restoration, watershed management, and economic consideration. Just read about them. Restoration. What is restoration? We damage the ecosystem, but we don't maintain them. So we have to maintain and rejuvenate and restore them. Because we destroy, damage the ecosystem. Just we talked about the example of wetland. We converted it into agriculture land. Okay, wetland to agriculture land. What is its impact? What will be the impact of conversion of wetland into agriculture land? All the species which were protected by or which is habitat of many species, birds and other insect pests, so it is get disturbed due to conversion of wetland into agriculture land. As you know, watershed management is a very essential part. You know about watershed? Watershed is the area which have some drainage facilities. Okay, just like take example like this. This is a in a area, but this is a common channel that is draining this area. Means whole water is going off through this major channel. What? Through this major channel. Okay. So this is a watershed management. Watershed management becomes essential for natural resource management to maintain the health of watershed, and it also helps in rejuvenating the water bodies. Water is also a natural resource, so it is also important. And watershed management is a very essential approach for water conservation. It helps in conservation of water for long term. It maintains the groundwater. What? Groundwater. Okay. So focus on this. These are the principles. Economic considerations. You can read this, because balancing economic development and resource conservation is a challenge of natural resource management. So sustainable approach is a very essential for natural resource management. Sustainability is the ultimate goal. Okay. So these are the principles of natural resource management. Now focus on to improve the quality of answers. So we have to know about this. To improve, I have put this content to improve the quality of answers. For what? To improve the quality of answers, because only by writing the content you can't get good marks. You have to justify with examples. So what are the international efforts for sustainable management? For what? For sustainable management. United Nations Sustainable Developmental Goals, UN SDGs. You know about this? This was adopted by UN in 2015. It includes 17 targets. What? 17 targets. We have to achieve this by 2030. So next one is a Paris Agreement. It aims to combat climate change and promote sustainable development. Okay. So next is top point is United Nations Environmental Program. Works on biodiversity conservation, ecosystem restoration, and sustainable consumption and production. So these are the international efforts for sustainable management of natural resources. There may be also many points on this topic, but I have put only relevant points. You can add according to your will. You are free. Okay. So these are just examples which are adopted by international governments, international organizations for NRM. And while we are while we have read about international level, we have to know about some Indian government efforts for sustainable management of natural resources. Green India Mission. What it aims, as name suggests, Green India Mission aims to increase the tree and forest cover in India, because ISFR report 2021 report suggests that around 23 to 24% area of total geographical area is under forest. So this is a very low, and National forest policy says that there should be minimum 33% of total area of total geographical area. So this mission aims to increase the forest cover. How it can be achieved? Through afforestation, reforestation, sustainable management of sustainable forest management practices. The next mission is that National Action Plan on Climate Change. It includes 8 missions. What are the missions? Like climate change, focus on climate change, renewable energy focus on renewable energy, energy efficiency, sustainable management, sustainable habitat management, and sustainable agriculture. These are the total 5 to 8 missions under National Action Plan on Climate Change, because climate change is a very burning topic of present time. Next is a Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana. This is about water resource management. What is the Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana? It focuses on the increase the water use efficiency in agriculture by promoting irrigation techniques like drip, sprinkler irrigation system. We have to adopt all those practices which have high water use efficiency and avoiding flooding system. So okay, I hope it is clear to you. National Mission for Sustainable Agriculture, NAMSA, National Mission for Sustainable Agriculture. It aims to promote sustainable agricultural practices through soil health management. Soil health card project, this was launched in 2015, by April 2015. Okay, through this you can maintain the soil health and water use efficiency and climate resilience through this mission, National Mission for Agriculture, Sustainable Agriculture. Okay, I hope this is clear to you. The content is a very relevant. This is a very foundation of this topic. Nature of question I have read about this. So focus on the content I have teach you. If you face any problem, then comment. You are free to comment. But one issue I am facing, that the watching time is a very low. Your retention capacity is very low. I am making the content only for you, but I am not getting benefit, because you are playing the video and after 2 to 3 minutes just leave the video. It is impacting my analytics. So I am requesting you, please, I am making efforts only for you, get benefited from it. You know that agriculture optional coaching is very costly, around 30 to 40,000 you have to pay for covering the agriculture optional, but I am the person who is providing the content only for free, so that you can get benefit out from it. So I hope you will get this idea, and thank you so much for watching this lecture.